Okay, right, do the clues quickly. Tell them it'll be a rollover, so we have to do 3 new ones.
Do you not write these down, Carl?
I don't write the answers down in case Ricky looks over the thing and sees the answer.
Why would I cheat? I'd rather you do something right with your life.
Right, well, the clues were I've got 3 other jumpers like this one.
Yeah.
That was FT.
Yeah.
You got that? 4 tops.
Yeah, that's alright. Good, well done.
That bunch of people can't make up their minds if they want to sit in the sun or not. That was C. They were getting that. That was charlatans. Charlatan, right? A bunch of them charlatans, right?
What do you mean? What's Charlie?
No. It's like, shall I go out? Shall we? Charlatans. They got it, right? Where I went wrong with this one, the Jamaican fella, he had to have some aspirin. Why? It's my fault. You know, I'm not cutting. There's no point passing the book or anything. I said FD. A lot of people were saying, Fred Durst, like forehead hurts, which is a good one.
Yeah, which would have been as good as any of yours.
But I made an error, so we'll roll it over.
No. What is the answer? What is the answer?
Over.
Jamaican fella what? Add some aspirin, why do that? What's the thing?
FP.
FP, it was Frida Payne.
Frida Payne?
Frida Payne.
Frida Payne.
Frida Payne. That's awful. You've got to write these down next week.
No,
This is
I'm
right.
sorry,
You're the producer.
I know, but I've had a busy week, haven't I?
That's
doing
not
stuff for
an excuse. That isn't an excuse.
Our excuse is we don't care.
Yeah.
You do
put
care.
the work in and then make a mistake.
Yeah. I mean, it's better not to try than try your hardest and be rubbish. Do you see the point? We don't care.
But you've got standards.
Yeah, and
you're not meeting them.
Think of that. You're not even reaching your standards. God. Jane's Addiction, just because on XFM 104.9, broadcasting from London, where people prefer to only be off sick when they actually are ill.
Sure. Yeah, I don't think I've ever taken a day off sick. Except when I had that terrible tonsillitis.
Is that when you went home, stayed with your mum and dad?
Yeah. Why is that a problem? Nurse back to health.
No, I'm not saying it's a
Nurse
problem.
back to health. Yeah, I've got a loving family. So sue me. What do you make of that?
I love it! The antagonism and piss-taking is just like, oh God, 3 blokes in a pub. There's people listening. I can't
Are there? Carl, what do you make of London? Because you often say you'd much rather be up north.
Well, he wouldn't, or he'd go.
Well, this is what he constantly says.
You've chosen to live here, you've lived here for years, you've got a flat here. No.
I chose to come here because I was offered a job that was good money.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have come here if there was no job.
So you prefer to be somewhere where there's a good job, so you've chosen to live here.
I don't like being here, though.
Well, no, but you can leave.
To what?
Well, exactly! So you've chosen to stay somewhere that's better for you.
It's not better for me.
Well,
it's making me ill. I'm not sleeping.
Well, so you say you're ill. I think you call in ill, but I don't think you are. But I mean,
are there any stats to prove that?
Well, yeah, because you know, of the 11 days that he calls in sick, I reckon probably 7 of them are genuine.
I'd love it if I dropped down dead tonight. Honestly, I'd love it.
If you drop down dead tonight, you'd have it. Why aren't you sleeping?
What, you're feeling ill now, are you? That's funny. You weren't feeling ill earlier, but you read that and you're suddenly ill.
I'm run down.
Well, you should take a holiday. Oh yeah, you just had about 8 in the last 6 months.
Oh God!
Why are you run down? Why are you run down?
Yeah, what have you done? You sit in a little air-conditioned office.
I haven't got time to tell you. Let's move on. Let's get on with stuff. What have we got anyway? Because we didn't have a chance to meet up this week. Me and Ricky could have done, but you said you were busy, Steve.
Yeah,
so that's probably why you don't get run down. But finishing work at about 4 o'clock.
No. So I could have had the meeting, but we gave you a time, and you suddenly decided with very little notice that you couldn't make it. So that was the
meetings and that.
Oh.
So what have we got then? What have we got? It's 1:20. What have we got? We're on till 3.
Well, we've been talking. We've been doing well. We've been playing some great rock and roll. We've been playing some lovely songs. We've told them. We've explained a survey just for employees. Be careful.
Yeah.
We've put that out there. We put a shout out there. People know.
I mean, would you say it was probably safest if you are an employer to never employ Mancunians?
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far because you see that's only an average. So I imagine some Mancunians, like Londoners, are nice, reliable people. It's probably just a few bad eggs that throw the stats up a little bit. People that would go, I'm not coming in today. I'll put on some wet trousers. All right, stay in bed.
Yeah.
Stay in bed.
Yeah.
You still got them on? Yeah. Well, pop them off.
Yeah.
Put them on the radiator and go to bed with a little duvet. That'd be the best thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, alright, Carl?
Right.
What's your attitude? Is it because you're tired?
Yeah.
But why are you tired, though?
You weren't staying up watching those Channel 5 films again, were you?
I'll tell you what, me and Steve were having a little meeting yesterday over lunch about, planning stuff for the show. And, Gary Kemp came up to me, started having a little chat about old times, and, I went, oh yeah. As he went away, Steve said, right, think of this. He said, Rick, don't take this the wrong way. Remember that sentence, don't take this the wrong way. So there's a right way and a wrong way I could have taken this comment. He nodded to sort of Gary Kemp and went, he's aged better than you. I went, well, how could I take that the wrong way?
Yeah, it's not offensive.
No. Well, the point is this. He didn't know me 20 years ago, so he's actually saying, Rick, don't take this the wrong way. He looks better than you do.
Yeah, well, he does.
But why say that, Carl?
What?
Did you really say that?
Yeah, although, can I just backtracking for a second? I love the fact you said you bumped into Gary Kemp and you reminisced about old times. What old times did you share with Gary
Well, no,
Kemp?
he came up and said, did we drop the pops together? And I went, no, I did Razzmatazz. I said, oh, we did Razzmatazz. I think he was thinking, had he ever met me before? But he hadn't, because we hadn't. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
But if you had to make an objective analysis...
I wouldn't. I think that's out of order.
Sure, sure. I mean, you're always slagging me off, but apparently
No,
you can't make a value judgment on something else. No.
I wouldn't do
Oh,
that.
shit.
Well, because you're morally all over the place. You don't know, you don't know where you're coming and
Believe
going.
it.
Yeah.
Believe it.
Sure, you should hear what I say about you behind your back.
So, would you say you're better looking now than you were? Or
Then I'm what?
would you say you're better looking now than you were?
Than I was when?
Well, have you aged well?
Yes.
You've aged well.
Yeah, I've kept my looks.
bit of Dando?
Bit Evan Dana, this would be lovely, yeah.
Look for sunshine to be burning full time.
Oh, proper rock band. Best band since Thin Lizzy. The Darkness.
Well, big words.
Growing on me. XFM 104.9.
A bit rash, I think.
R. Gervais, S. Merchant, K. Pilkington. With a little bit of I know for a fact, that Steve is getting a little bit sick of Carl's attitude.
Oh, his attitude's appalling. Yeah.
I quite like it though, because it's straight away friction, and he's sort of like,
To be fair, I genuinely don't think I'm the culprit in this. I think I come in and I just ask him a simple request.
Yeah.
And immediately on my back. Whinging, moaning, whining. I don't know if there's any evidence.
Well, it's funny you
sort
say
of
that actually, because in a
support any of my
survey,
complaints.
it came up this week. It's quite extensive. Mancunians take more sick days than anyone else. Mancunians take more sick days than workers in any other city in Britain and Ireland, according to Manchester-based employment firm. Survey by Peninsula found employees in Manchester take 11 sick days per year, whereas closest rivals Edinburgh and Dublin take an average of 9. Liverpool, Newcastle, Birmingham, Cardiff only 8.
Is Reading mentioned there, or
No,
Bristol?
it's not even in there. They don't take days off. London is only 7. So the point is, I mean, I don't think you can take anything from it, but if you're an employer and you had a Mancunian and a Liverpudlian and they were equal on everything else, but you really couldn't afford them to be away, Liverpudlian's going to probably be away for 8 days.
Sure.
The Manc's going to be away for 11, phoning in sick. And
So what can you, just
Well, the point
analysing
is
the data there, what would you extrapolate from that?
I really don't know. I mean, call in if you've got any clues, or email us in if you've got any. I don't know why I think maybe. I don't know, Mancunians just...
I don't really know many people from Manchester.
Well, I only know one, but I know he was off sick because he put on wet trousers and he got
You got a cold, I think.
Yeah, well, he just said he was... didn't come in for...
Yeah.
He left early as well once.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, that's the survey, I don't know. I mean, it's evidence because it's statistics, so... There you go.
It's guaranteed evidence that that's
So,
proof.
any thoughts on that, Ricky.Gervais? At xfm.co.uk.
I mean, oddly enough, you're from Manchester, Carl.
I am,
What do you think?
yeah,
What are your
funny,
thoughts on that?
On what? Sorry?
No, on the survey.
Oh, wasn't really listening.
Sure.
Well, Mancunians take off more sick days. They call in sick. I mean, presumably spuriously.
Yeah.
I mean, because they've got the same body. They're biologically the same. So,
So they're obviously making up their life.
yeah. Some of the days, maybe just the 3 extra they're making up.
Yeah, they're moaning.
Probably because we work a lot harder than the others, so we're tired, so you're sick, so you need time off. Probably.
Seems
Probably.
unlikely.
I mean, the Scousers, to be honest, take them on, let them work in your office. But you know how many computers are going to go missing?
Right, that
So offensive.
is offensive.
Right.
This is a survey that proved. You just made that up. You just carried on the myth that Liverpudlians thieve. Now that's not true. That is not true. Well, it's not.
Well, some of them do.
There's been no survey that you're more likely to thieve if you're from Liverpool than if you're in Manchester. So that hasn't been proven yet. So all I've got is the evidence from a survey of, I think, 3,500 people. It's proof that Mancunians take off more sick days. XFM 104.9. This is April Come She Will by Simon and Garfunkel. Simon and Garfunkel, April Come She Will, a lovely love song there. The X list was all about sort of like sexy songs because of death of Barry White, of course. And Carl and Steve having a little argument. Steve said, "Well, there are such thing as sexy songs, of course." Carl said, "I can't understand it. Can't understand it. How can something be sexy? How can you woo one with a song?" Steve went, "Well, you don't woo one with it. You just put it on in the background." Carl said, "Stick the telly on."
Stick the telly on.
I love that.
You don't believe there's any such thing as a sexy song, is that right?
I don't think it can get you in the mood. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're either in with a chance or you're not. I don't think it matters what song you put on.
Well, I don't think it ups your chances. I don't think if
No,
you take...
It does. If you put Channel 5 on a Friday night, right, see a little bit of that action, gets anyone going. And it's worked for me, and that's all.
What's
that's
on,
what
when
I'm saying.
pets go mad?
No,
What's
no,
on?
you know, like, I don't know the titles of them, I don't look at the titles, but...
Well, that show with Chris Moyles.
It's
Do you
just
mean the kind of erotic thrillers?
Yeah,
that they
yeah,
have on?
put one of them on, that gets you going a bit.
What does-
I
what
might
does
be
she-
tired and that, but...
What does the woman go, "Oh, that's an idea." Hey, that's an idea.
They're normally called something like illegal briefs, and they're normally about some kind of female solicitor who's defending a guy who may or may not be a killer,
Yeah.
but maybe in a former life they were lovers. It's always some nonsense like that, and presumably there's normally some gruesome murders. So how is that getting you in the mood?
It's plot development.
Yes, the narrative. Oh, I love narrative.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, that's a lovely twist. I've got the horn.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So, if you're from Manchester, sorry about that. I mean, it is true. We weren't making that up. We weren't doing a stupid stereotype like Carl did with Liverpudlians. It's just a survey that Mancunians take off more sick days. But they might be genuine. They might be sort of an iller people, or it might just be people who are in Manchester go, "Oh, I can't be bothered to go to work. It's rubbish." Whereas if you're in London, you go, "I can't wait to go to work. What a lovely place this is."
Some
And
great jobs down here.
great job, Johnny.
Rick, I know you're always looking just to keep you kept abreast of new developments in
Yeah.
music, what's happening.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've got any plans this evening, but you might want to pop along to the Hope and Anchor in Islington.
Why?
Where playing tonight, Restless Diesel.
Please
Hello.
welcome to the stage.
Restless Diesel. I mean, we've talked about it before. Band names where you just have to imagine you're supporting U2,
Yeah.
Wembley Stadium. It can never happen. Please welcome to the stage,
And he
Restless
comes on, and after
Diesel.
the first song, he goes, "Thanks, cause great band before us, Restless Diesel. You hear a lot more of them."
Exactly.
Yeah, it won't happen, will it?
Sure, they're a great band. I think. you
What's the
should change
tax on that? £5 in, is it?
It's not telling us actually, but yeah, to pop down to the Hope and Anchor, maybe tell us how Restless Diesel were tonight.
Yeah, just call in. Maybe call in on Christian Show Monday. Just tell us how Restless Diesel were. We can make that a regular feature.
Now, what's coming up on today's show? Rick?
Well,
What have we got?
listen, we got all the usual favourites. We got and some new ones. We got Monkey News. That's sorted. Carl told me.
People are guaranteed monkey.
He
news.
called in. He said, "I've got some Monkey News." He's
Brilliant.
done that. I had to make sure. Yeah, we got that. We've got some great tunes. I've got a great song from Tupac, some Cat Stevens, some Jimmy Webb, some Thin Lizzy.
Can I surprise you with something from Aerosmith? And a little
Brilliant.
treat from Evan Dando.
We're
coming up.
quite rocky today, aren't we? There's a threat that there won't be Rockbusters.
Good. That's no threat.
But we can
Great
bring
news.
back Educating Ricky.
Oh.
I mean, because it's sort of like seasonal, isn't it, our show? We don't want it's not like Ant and Dec's takeaways on all through the year.
Yeah.
They go away for a few weeks and we get something else, like Ian Wright's,
Yeah.
Friends Like These or something.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so maybe Rockbusters, maybe not.
Rockbusters on hiatus, but Educating Ricky always fun. If
That's
you've not
what's
heard
coming
that
up.
before.
And I'll tell you what, Jane's Addiction, just because they rock as well, don't they?
Oh, brilliant.
XFM 104.9.
Excellent, Ricky Gervais.
Right.
Haven't really had time to check it out this week.
No, you're
Been-
joking.
Been busy.
Ooh, I
Been
hope
busy.
it's not stupid.
Goes back to 1908, and the person saying it's it's a good story and that, and they're surprised they haven't picked up on it yet, right? The Olympics, right? In 1908 in London. Apparently, it was meant to happen in Italy, but it was cancelled. Don't know why. Right, and it happened in London. Anyway, 400 metres. Right, it was meant to. There was a fella who was going to do the run, right, and the favourite to win it was this Bulgarian guy, right? Who was like a newcomer.
Okay, these are a few things it cannot be. One, he injures himself, so a monkey steps in and wins. 2, he does a drugs test. It turns out that he is a monkey. So if it's either of those, right, I'm gonna go mad.
So anyway, so the fella, right, this favourite, everyone's putting the money on him, thinking, yeah, he's going to do it.
Is he hairy? Is this bloke hairy?
So anyway, so the race happens.
Yeah.
And everybody's lined up, ready to run. And, you know, everyone's saying, yeah, he's going to win, he's going to win. Then suddenly, a bit of murmuring going on, people going, oh, what's going on here?
Right. He's eating a banana.
And there's a fella in the lane next to him,
Yeah.
right, he's going up, who's that? He doesn't look familiar.
Oh, Christ, Carl.
Keep going.
Right, doesn't look familiar, who's he? You know,
Weird,
what's
weird,
going on,
isn't it?
what's going on, what's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah, what is it? What is it? Who is it? I mean, not what is it?
So they go in. So they say, well, he might not be that any good. Do you know what I mean? He might not be good. He might. It's just
A bit short, and
doesn't matter.
he's only 3'6", and he's hunched over on his knuckles. So
I didn't realise it was fancy dress.
So
I
anyway,
don't think he's going to be any good.
so the race
Oh,
starts.
he's putting his finger up his arse. That's weird for runners to do that before a race. It's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Race starts.
Yeah.
The fella that no one recognises wins it. People go, what's gone on here?
Yeah, sure.
Do you know what I mean? We had our money on the favourite. What's gone on? Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Anyway, he stood up there, right? He's looking well happy.
Yeah.
He's lifting the trophy and everything.
Right.
Right?
Long arms. That trophy's higher than...
So anyway,
He's only 3 foot, but the trophy's 9 foot in the air with those long arms. It's I'm
they-
suspicious. Go on.
They had the picture in the paper the next day,
Sure.
and everyone's going, yeah, he was fast and everything, but quite hairy for a run.
Oh, I'll tell you
Come
what,
on,
Carl.
come on.
Quite
It's
airy for a runner, because
ridiculous.
normally they shave themselves, don't they, to make them faster. And
No.
they're going, how did he manage it? It's really airy and that. So anyway, he wins the stuff, he walks away with a cup. The people who are in charge of the running, or like the Olympic Committee, look further into it. Turns out it was a chimp.
Right, keep talking.
No,
Right.
don't keep talking. Why
Shut up.
encourage him?
Shut up. This is monkey news. If you can't handle the news...
It's news from 1909, and I haven't heard about a chimp winning the Olympics.
Right, be quiet.
What happened there, then?
400 metres, right? Now the
Don't
thing is,
talk shit.
the annoying
Please,
thing was,
Ricky.
it took so long for the Olympic Committee, right, to find out that it was a monkey. It was going going manic. It went into loads of races. It was picking up loads of like.
Oh, shut up!
It
Right?
became a celebrity. It was doing endorsements on TV.
Don't talk shit.
It said he managed to win the
Right.
same race 4 years later in Athens because
How did he get to
But
Athens?
it's a joke. They're winding you up, Carl.
weird.
It's not weird. It's
isn't
right. I do not believe it. Well, that's okay. There's only 3 of them to go then. Right, because we're probably all leaving in 4 weeks' time, and that's the end. I've got to get onto a sort of mainstream radio station because I don't think there's any other sort of tin pot place like this, is there?
No.
So I'm going to clear up my act a little bit. I've got an album from the Capital Radio Library, and it's the best punk album in the world ever. So if Cap's listening, I'm just going to show that I can do a mainstream. I'm going to play a classic song, and I'm going to announce it right and everything. So
if you get a job on a decent station, you'll take me with you, will you?
we're a pair.
Brilliant.
So okay, here we go. Right, if anyone's listening, just to show that I can do mainstream radio. Okay. Well, that's all. Okay. let me just-
Well, you're getting
No, no,
nervous.
no,
You're
okay,
getting nervous.
okay.
So come on. Shall I get a monkey and do
Okay,
it?
it's all right. It's all right. Okay. Well, that's about all there is time for today. You've been listening to Ricky Gervais with me, Stephen Merchant. Across the way, K-Man Pilkers. We're going all the way back now, a classic song from the late 1970s, and this is Devo with Mongoloid. White Van,
Yeah, White Van Carl. I mean, for those that don't know, we do this.
we
once
asked
a week.
Carl the questions that the Sun asked someone else.
That's right. The Sun every day asks some, average Joe his views on the week's big stories. Carl, let me ask you now. What do you make of Prince Harry smoking openly at a polo club? Are you aware of this story?
No, was it? Go on.
Prince Harry, you know that he's one of the royals,
Yeah.
and he was seen smoking openly, a fag, a cigarette, at a polo
Third in
ground.
line to the throne.
Something like that, yeah.
Imagine that. Someone
Hey?
smoking a cigarette is third in line to the throne.
A cigarette, Carl.
Is it a non-smoking polo club?
Do you know, I don't know, but if it were, would that make things even worse for you?
Well,
no,
yeah.
seriously, what do you make of it? This is, you know, the whole, you know, the furore is he's a role model, you know, he's a royal, should he be seen puffing away in a public place?
I don't think it matters, does it?
Not a concern for you?
How old is he? Is he old enough to smoke?
I think he probably is, yes.
Right, yeah.
Well,
fine.
I think the trouble with this role model thing, with anything that's legal, it should either be illegal or not.
Yes.
I just don't think you can impose things like that, because you could say that it is bad for you, and it is bad to start smoking, and it really is bad for you, you know, it causes cancer and everything.
But everyone knows that, don't they?
Well, yeah, but you should either make it illegal or shut up about it. So this is Carl you're asking, isn't it?
I am indeed.
Sorry,
So we can throw these questions your way as well, if you fancy.
Sorry, yeah.
It doesn't matter.
But Carl, what are your views generally? I mean, it's obviously cigarettes are perfectly legal and so on, but what about stronger narcotics? Because I know you're very scared of drugs and stuff, aren't you? You're
Yeah,
very...
I'm not a fan. I don't
No, what's your concern? What's your worry?
Just that you might get into them.
Sure.
It's like you might have them and go, oh, this is alright.
Exactly, Carl. Exactly.
Although I was talking to you about it earlier, and you weren't very sympathetic about a lot of young people who have perhaps gone to crack or smack. Didn't you describe it as their own fault?
Sometimes it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I could have turned to it where I grew up, but I said, well, don't want to do that, it's not good for you.
Sure.
And I avoided it.
You turn to ghosts.
So you've got
So-
no sympathy for anyone who's a drug addict? It's their own fault, is your...
It depends, doesn't it?
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? You can be an addict if, I don't know, something, I'm trying to think of a nice way that
Well,
you
most
might
people
end up...
start on stuff like that because something really traumatic's happened to them. Very few people go out for a laugh one night and go, let's all try it.
Sure.
So, you know, but, yeah.
Just
anyway.
say no, I suppose, is the
Just say
action
no,
in the end.
listen to the cast of Grange Hill.
Now, this will scare you. Now, Carl, you will be a little bit unnerved about this. Have you seen the film Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
You know what happened there? Well, according to the Sun here, it says scientists are planning to clone mammoths for a theme park. Look at his face, look at that, he looks like a dog caught in the headlights of a car, he's terrified.
I love Carl.
He sprung to attention
Carl.
there.
Is that the best news you could have?
Man moths.
Right.
Yeah, man moths.
I
Man
love
moths.
the fact that that's why he was so excited that they've bred a man moth. What is this? Yeah, it's a human being that hides in your wardrobe and eats the entire jacket in a day.
Yeah.
What do you mean, man moths? Mammoths. Mammoth, the big hairy
you heard
cow
of a
from the
mammoth?
Ice Age. I mean, elephant.
You're not so excited about that, then? You can take or leave bringing back mammoths to life, but a man moth...
A man moth is a different matter. Oh, if we'd have never brought that up, he'd have gone and told someone now.
Yeah.
You know, they've bred an half man, half moth.
This
and
is
that's
what
how,
we
this is how
mean.
things start.
This is what we mean when you hear
don't-
these ghost
Are you
stories.
slightly deaf? Is that it? When you hear these stories, you're slightly deaf. And his head was in the basket, and he went, count how many times I blink. Is it?
Carl, is English your first language? Are you actually foreign? Is that the
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Should we
When
speak
we say
slower?
foreign, we mean not of this planet.
Yeah. Should we speak slower? Would that be a help to you?
No, go on. Next
What do you
one.
make of
Do
that?
you think that's good?
The
Well, you think
idea
that's
of
good to bring back mammoths?
prehistoric animals.
These giant elephants.
They're slow, aren't they? It's not as if they're going to, like, get out and run fast and they can't capture them.
They'd probably be a fence, to be honest, Carl. They'd probably be a fence.
No, but I'm
Big
saying,
fence.
but you're asking it as if, like, oh, it could all go wrong, but it couldn't, could it?
Well,
Really?
but the point was about Jurassic Park is they thought it wouldn't go wrong, and they thought they had it all under
Yeah, but
control.
that was
and
Have you learned
dinosaurs.
nothing from Jurassic Park, Carl?
Dinosaurs would say, oh, think about it before you do it. But with a airy elephant, it's not going to...
Not a concern for you. Would you go along to see him? Would you be interested in that?
If it was in the area.
He's great, isn't he? I'd love a queue,
Nothing
right?
impresses
No,
him.
but what I'd like to do is Carl sitting like Yoda in a little cave, and I'd just like to see people like Tony Blair and, you know, Stephen Hawking in a queue, and they go and say, Carl, got a bit of a problem,
And thinking of cloning a man and a moth. Problem? Not an issue. No, if I'm in the area, I might cruise around and have a look at it. Otherwise, just don't send it near my clothes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So it's just for a second. As the words "man moth" came into your head, how excited were you? I mean, were you both terrified and excited? For the moment when you thought that they'd cloned a man and a moth.
I pictured,
What kind of face did he have? Did he have the moth's head, or was it a man's head?
just a little man head.
Right. What was his face? What did it look like?
He just was like a bit shocked.
Perplexed. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was like he'd been grafted onto the body of a moth without his consent.
And when he was asleep.
Yeah, he'd woken up.
He just went in to have a goiter removed,
Yeah.
and they said, we've
He
replaced
woke up
your
with
goiter with the body of a giant moth.
Yeah.
Is that alright, Mr. Jenkins?
So he had the head of a little. Was it a little boy or a man?
little man,
Right. Okay.
and he's just bumping into a lamp.
You're just bumping into a van.
if you went into hospital and they'd done something, what's the worst thing they could do, right? What would you rather have done, right? You wake up and you've got lobster claws for hands.
Right.
You wake up and you've got duck's feet. Or you wake up and you've got one horn coming out of your head.
The worst thing,
Yeah.
probably the horn coming out of my head.
Why?
Get in the way.
That'd be useful, wouldn't it, in fights and stuff? And, for, like, parties, people would play
Well, I suppose
quoits.
the lobster claws would also be quite handy there.
Definitely. So anyway, that reminded me, because we were talking about other amazing stuff that Ricky told me to find out about. Steve, are you aware of bonobos?
We mentioned them earlier. I'm not particularly familiar with bonobos.
Right.
It sounds like a cream cake.
No, they were a sort of a chimpanzee, but more advanced than the traditional chimpanzee. They live in one sort of particular area, and you know, it's the sort of closest animal to the missing link. They're very intelligent. They take on a lot of social aspects of human. They have sex for pleasure and no other.
Steve's looking annoyed.
He's done ya. Yeah, what did you find out about
Apparently, I found out it's 98% not human, this kind of thing. It's nearly human, but it's not.
We share 98% of DNA with it.
Yeah, 98%.
It's a higher percentage than you.
They have sex for pleasure.
They do look a bit like him, though. They've got a little round head, haven't they?
But,
And they're much more upright than the, you know, they've got a more flexible.
I sort of get bored with animals that are like classed as being intelligent, right? So when you told me,
I get bored of them.
Because they're not doing enough. They're not playing Nintendo.
Do you know, like, that people always rave on about dolphins, saying, oh, they're really bright and that.
Yeah.
You know, I was having an argument with Suzanne about it, and she goes, oh yeah, dolphins are really intelligent. And I said, but what? What have they done? So she said, well, they use them in wars. They strap bombs to the back to go out to boats.
Yeah.
To then blow up the boats.
Yeah, they're trained, yeah.
Well, that isn't that bright. If it was really bright, it'd go, I'm not doing that.
Well, no, they leave them. They don't blow themselves up. They... anyway. But...
Alright, well... So anyway, so bonobos, really bright and that. Now, I was looking at them, and they are, you know, they're saying... you know, they're just like humans, basically, right? But what I was thinking is... I didn't have a chance to ask you. If you got a mentalist...
Right.
And put the bonobo in an exam...
Okay. What do you mean a mentalist? What do you mean?
Well, you know, someone who's, you know, a little bit, just a little bit slower than me, and put them in an exam, what would happen?
Right, okay, you've got to be clearer here, Carl. What are you saying? Are you saying pit the wits of a bonobo against...
Someone who's educationally subnormal?
Yeah. What do you reckon?
I don't know where to start.
No, but if they're that good, why aren't they being used in labour and stuff? Do you know what I mean?
What in the what do you mean in the government?
Like, you know, like some jobs that they could do. Why hasn't someone caught onto it and thought, well, hang on a minute?
Sorry, I'm not familiar with the bonobo. Seriously, could it do a job of work? How advanced are these creatures?
Lots of animals do job of work. I think Carl wants this bonobo to start going to work with an umbrella and a bowler hat, and have sort of like rudimentary language skills, like morning, morning.
So so I couldn't employ the bonobo to be my PA. It's not. I mean, how advanced are they? Could I teach you to go in the shops and collect something and bring it home?
But you can teach a dog to do that.
Yeah.
It depends what you mean by intelligence, social interaction, also dexterity capability, you know.
Could it produce this show?
Yes! I'd have thought it could, randomly.
Yeah. Just by pressing the buttons it could do a better job.
It depends what you're asking, Carl. What you mean is, could a chimp be a thick human at an intelligence test?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But it depends on what the problem with the human is, doesn't it? Right. First of all, mental illness has nothing to do with intelligence. Let's get that straight. That's one thing. Mental people aren't necessarily less or intelligent, the people.
Now, is that the clinical term?
Well, exactly.
A mentalist.
A mentalist. Sometimes I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to start with where he's going wrong with the question, to answer it, to find out what he really means, because...
It's just that if that did happen, right...
So what could happen? You want the Planet of the Apes, don't you?
Here we go.
Go on.
Right? I go to school, I go to a new school.
Yeah.
I go in the class, there's 3 bonobos sat on the back row.
Yeah.
Right? I think it would make
They're
everybody...
bad kids, are they?
Everybody would work harder, because you go, well, I don't want a monkey beating me. Whereas when I went to
So you think
school...
there'd be an incentive?
Yeah.
Well, I think...
Okay, they go, oh, go on. What do you mean?
No, I would have loved it, because, I mean, one of the reasons I didn't like school is it's like, oh, I'm not bothered. You know, I'm not bothering going in today. I'd love it if I went in and someone said, right, you're going to start coming again. Why is that? You've got 3 bonobos in your class.
What if they didn't hang out together, like the 2 little, kids with the webbed hands and the big heads?
What if they started bullying you? Stealing your pocket money?
Well,
maybe
I wouldn't go in, I'd stop
maybe
going.
copying you, maybe making you do their homework.
Yeah. They did find out you...
To be honest, it would probably be the other way round. And he'd score better.
Yeah. God, have you been copying?
Have you been copying the bonobos
Have
again?
you been copying Boo Boo again?
It'd be good though, wouldn't it?
Well, it'd be great. I wish I could live in your mind for just a day. So it must be great when you walk around and see things.
We were talking before, right, about, at school for some... I can't remember why it came up, the frog thing. But they did a... Oh, I'll tell you what it was. It's the march that's on today, right? And, you know, if people want to do that, that's fair enough, but I don't like going out in big crowds and what have you.
Sure.
He said there's too many people to get anything done, right? He said, I wouldn't do anything with more than 5 people.
Do you know what I mean, Steve? If you have a night out, if there's more than 5 of you, you can't talk to everyone. Who's in charge of the night? It makes it hard work if you want to nip into a restaurant, because you've got to get, like, a table for 6.
Yeah.
So if you're on that march today and you want a coffee...
You got to get a table for 20,000.
7 for 1 million protesters!
No, but do you know what I mean? If they're
trying to
walking
work
down the
out the
street...
bill afterwards.
Yeah.
Who had another dessert.
If they're
Let's just split it a million ways.
Yeah.
Should we just split it a million ways?
let's
Well, I didn't have a
pass on that.
starter.
I need to pay with Switch.
I didn't have a starter.
Can I pay on Switch?
Before you know, war breaks out.
Forget it.
They're fighting amongst themselves. Bob Dylan. Oh. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go on XFM. Sorry, they're arguing. Steve and Karl
But
are
he just goes,
arguing
you've got to keep it
about...
slick.
Do you know, can I just tell them what you're arguing about? Think of this, right? This is the argument. They're arguing whose fault it is why this show is rubbish. Think of that!
What? That's a perfect... I think that's a valid criticism. At least we're discussing it. You're just accepting that that's the case. You're not even trying to change it. We're ashamed of it.
Yeah.
We have to go out there.
I should be, but, I quite like it.
In fact, I remember when we went out about 2 weeks ago and said we've got to, you know, make it tighter and that, make it good. Went out for something to eat. You were happy sat at the table talking about squids and having to, you know, go off with one if you wanted to have a kid. I brought up the topic, right, what we're going to do about the show. Suddenly you've got to go. It's like, oh, I think I've made plans. So me and Steve sat there coming up with stuff.
See, I do that. I do acknowledge, quite shamefully, that this is more enjoyable for me to do than for you to listen to. But it's like 2 hours sort of playtime for me. It's like, you know, the study period when you're meant to read a book, but you actually can't afford to run around and draw pictures. I think like this, even though I'm getting paid for this and I'm meant to be working, it's nice. It's cool, isn't it? Not for the listener. But for me.
But the problem is, the only way we can improve this show, Karl, to be honest, the only way we can make this good is if the 3 of us resign.
Yeah.
And they replace it with someone else.
Yeah, but Karl, you're getting flustered and you're getting stressed, because you're, you know, I don't know what, I was saying, answer the phones, you were letting them ring, you're still letting it ring. You're still letting people phone. You go, oh look, leave that. And people have phoned in, good enough to phone in, to ask for something for free. I think you should at least answer the phone and say, it's not worth it, the prizes are rubbish.
Well, whilst I'm doing all the other stuff, maybe you can do that.
No way.
Right then.
But
No
to be fair,
way.
Rick, I'm not accusing you of being lazy.
No.
But you're sat on a chair, and yet you're almost vertical. I don't know how you've done it. It's like you're almost asleep, but you're sat on an upright chair. I don't know how you've angled yourself in
I'm
that
gonna
way.
have a bad back when I'm, Oh, in old age, I'm just gonna be bent double.
Right, so come on now.
What?
Pretend we're starting now.
Okay.
We've just started the show
Yeah,
now.
it's 2 o'clock. It's
Right.
XFM. It's the Ricky Gervais show with Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington, or our show. It's our show. From now on, I'm at least cutting up the blame as well. XFM 104.9. What do you want to know? Funny thing happened to me on the way here.
Okay.
Actually, it was about Wednesday or Thursday. I was walking along Charing Cross Road. I was on my way here actually to meet Karl for a drink, and this little fella came up to me. I think it was an overseas student. He's sort of like a student type, but he had an accent, and he came up to me and went, "Excuse me, are you one from the office?" And I went, yeah. He went, would you sign a script book of the office for me? I went, yep, by all means, yeah. He went, can you come to the bookshop? And I went, what, you haven't got it on you? He went, no, but if you come, I will buy one for you to sign. And I went, I can't really. He went, were you gonna pass one? I went, I'm not, no, I can't. He went, oh, I was just in Waterstones earlier, and I didn't buy. I went, oh, sorry. He went, you could just, I went, I can't. He went, okay. I went, I'll sign something else. Have you got something else I can sign? He went, of course. And I signed a pamphlet or a brochure or something for him. But I love the idea, imagine me going with him, I'm queuing up, and I'm in the queue, he's going, you're going, yeah, fine, can you just, hurry up, and he gets there, and his switch doesn't work, and he goes, can you lend me £10?
Yeah.
I mean, imagine that.
I'm a little bit annoyed you didn't go with him, frankly, because that would have been a sale of our book, and I get a little cut from that.
Well, behind him was Salman Rushdie. Going, can we hurry up? Because I shouldn't be out.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of funny looks. And, I really, I don't feel comfortable.
But I thought it was very odd the other day, was we were walking along, and Ricky often gets bothered for an autograph, and, some Japanese people who I think were tourists, they appeared from behind the corner, and I thought, this is odd, they seemed like tourists, but they're obviously gonna ask for an autograph. And they just handed him a camera and said, excuse me, would you take a photo of us? And they didn't recognise him,
I was laughing, I was thinking, right, oh.
So now Ricky stood in the street, people are recognising him as he's taking a photo of 3 complete Japanese strangers, and I imagine them getting home and so saying, and here's the one we had taken by Ricky Gervais. Taken with Ricky Gervais? No, taken by Ricky Gervais.
From the office. Isn't that brilliant? Would you come to the bookshop with me?
The life of a minor celebrity.
Not really. I love the fact that he was fascinated by the strangest village in Britain, but the stories he's told us about where he comes from, there's him going around with 2 fellas with big heads, webbed feet, a little pigeon-chested bloke, him on his grifter with Maggie pecking at him, his dad in the telephone box nicking groceries, and a horse in the house next door. I mean, how strange was his upbringing? And him hanging from his satchel. Unbelievable.
There's another woman who I remembered. Actually, I'll tell you later.
Go on, what?
I'll tell you later about another woman who I remembered.
What is it? Give us a teaser.
It's just a woman who rode around on a 3-wheeled bike with her husband in a basket. I'll tell you that. Right, and the final clip.
You don't get teasers like that on any other radio station.
That's a hell of a funeral service.
Right, listen.
Right, tell us about this woman.
Well, it was just because you were saying about the, our living.
We are broadcasting now, aren't we? This is actually going out, this is live. This isn't us sort of like...
Yeah, but you were just talking about how I lived in an odd village.
Yeah.
With kids with big heads and all that, right? And what I wanted to do...
What is that again? There's 2 kids with big heads.
Yeah, they just had sort of big heads and, webbed hands and that. They went to my school. And, when I spoke to my dad the other day, because I'm going to see my mum and dad tomorrow. Oh, yeah. So I said, have we got any school photographs with the, big-headed kids in? And he said, no, nobody bought those sort of school photos, because they were in it, so it was always a bit ruined. But I said, well...
No!
No, he said sales were, because he obviously talked to other dads and stuff like that, and he just said, oh, no one bought them. But anyway, so...
I would love them!
Yeah.
That's why I'd buy them.
Yeah, but I wouldn't stand out, would I? If it's on the mantelpiece.
Well, yeah, well,
but anyway, so I was talking about,
When you say they had big heads, what do you mean? Do they look like someone from Doctor Who?
They were just quite big.
But they weren't related?
No.
So why did 2 blokes with big heads and webbed feet?
I lived in a weird area. There was a chemical plant close by.
I can't believe you've never told us that before. That explains a lot.
Not just the freaks in your neighbourhood, but
no, there was loads of weird stuff going on. There was this, like I said, there was this woman who used to like live in one of the council flats, right? And she had a three-wheeled sort of big. What do you call it?
Three-wheeled son. He was the weirdest bloke we ever knew.
What do you call it? Like a big tricycle, but for an adult rather than one for a kid. It was a big one.
It wasn't a motorbike though. It was a
no. It was a push bike thing.
Right, yeah.
And she used to sort of ride down the road with a fella sat in the basket on the back with his like legs dangling over, and they'd be going to like the pub and what have you.
Was it a different fella each time or the same one?
Yeah, little sort of bald-headed fella.
Sure, it wasn't collection for like organs and things. Bring out your ill, and then just people just throw Grandad just in the back and go, right, we're getting £4 for Grandad.
But she's
got a lovely pair of testicles on him. They're very low, but they're
bring out your dead or nearly dead.
She used to pick on her husband quite a lot. They'd be in the pub and what have you, and they'd be sat by themselves, but she'd always be sort of, you know, having a go at him, moaning at him, sort of pushing him about and that. So my dad and his mate, right, they went round to their house, knocked on the door, she answered, and he said he was a copper, right? He said, you know, Detective Pilkington, gonna come in and have a word.
Sorry, I'm just gonna make a note of impersonating a police officer.
For the good, he went in and sort of said, now, I've heard, you know, you picking on your husband a lot. Yeah. We'll be keeping an eye on you. Do it again, and there'll be trouble. And she backed off after that. She was all right.
And how was the husband? Was he still in the basket though? Was he allowed to ever sort of like ride up front with her? Or was he just always in the basket?
He just, she'd sort of stop picking on him in public places and stuff.
That's good.
Just you can't get done, can you, just for doing that?
I think impersonating a police officer.
Well, you probably did. There was no gain. I think you can't impersonate a police officer full stop, but I think they'd probably be lenient on him that he was, you know. But let's face it, you know, he's not going to be caught because why would anyone know about it? It's not like his son's going to say it on a radio station, is it? And stitch him right up.
Is this something you did generally? Kind of a little bit of, like, vigilante work?
Just whatever, him and his mate, just, you know, if they saw something going on, they go, what can we do? Sure. A little scam can we do, or whatever.
That's fantastic! That is brilliant. Right, okay, coming up, Knob News.
And Monkey News.
And Monkey News. And the answers to Rockbusters. What a show.
I'm not sure of what I see, think I don't believe.
Radiohead, Go to Sleep. That's good, isn't it? On XFM 104.9.
Brilliant.
No,
great DJing there.
Well, I haven't heard it before.
Good, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it was good. It was very good. It was very good. I was just watching cable TV. I do a lot of that, and there's an advert I've noticed. It reminded me of the sort of adverts you used to see when I was a kid. It's one of those attempts to kind of educate young people, but doing it in it's on MTV, but it's one of those things where it's clearly been made by people who are in their mid-40s.
Who have never been cool.
Who have never been cool.
Yeah.
Who've been working really hard to get into TV all their lives, and now are trying to appeal to, you know, funky and possibly wayward young people. Yeah. And it's kind of...
Nerdy wows.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a kind of stunning model, and two of her stunning model friends, but they're just a couple of average girls, you know, going about their business. And, you know, it says something like, it's all shot very funkily, like a kind of, you know, lock, stock and two smoking barrels kind of thing. And, it's a girl, and she's just grooving along with her friends, and it's kind of like, the captions are things like, you know, Isabella's 17. She's cool, she's quite funky, she's got these great friends, and they're sort of hanging out and laughing. And, she just pops into a tattoo parlour. Why not? Her friends are like, what are you doing? But she just goes in, you know, she has a tattoo done, and it sort of says, she's wild, she's crazy. You know, she lives life as she sees it. She takes every day as it comes. She's not tied down to anything. She doesn't smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
So it just says, don't smoke cigarettes. If you think she's cool.
If you think all this is cool, then you probably won't want to smoke cigarettes.
Exactly.
If you want to be cool, then
like
don't.
Isabella or whatever.
Except the thing with that is that people watching that, the youth watching that will go, well, Bill at my school, he smokes and he's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, this is the problem with it.
Yeah.
It's not that the impulse is wrong. The message is fine. It's just this thing. I can't imagine those things ever working with young people.
No.
With youths. It's like when you know, what was it?
What it will do is that you'll get a lot of 13 and 14-year-olds sneaking out and getting a tattoo.
Exactly.
So the parents will be going, I'd rather she smoked.
Exactly. She might give that up sometime. That's her life.
She's got a spider's web on her face now for the rest of her life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like, you remember that thing when they tried to get young people to vote? Do you remember that? Was it Rock the Vote? Was it called Rock the Vote? Was it people like Billy Bragg and people kind of
Yeah.
I don't know who that appeals to. I don't know. You know, some youth is kind of smashing up a bus shelter, throwing bricks at old people.
Goes,
and
oh,
what's that, Billy Bragg?
Billy Bragg, yeah.
I just can't. I don't believe it ever. I think it was Mick Hucknall was another one. What's that, Mick?
Oh dear. Well, I remember the ones where you just if you were going to go off with a stranger, your cat went, well, don't.
Yeah.
Ask mummy first.
Yeah.
And I remember I was trying to jump in cars left, right, and centre, but my cat,
Exactly.
when I was like 5 or 6, would go. And I go, good point.
Yeah.
You're right. He could be a nutter.
But I seem to remember the Charlie's. The Charlie Says. It was Charlie Says, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Charlie Says.
Charlie Says.
I always find them really unnerving. He lived in that really eerie kind of world where you never really saw
cartoon.
anyone. Yeah, but it was very kind of. It was very eerie. It wasn't very kind of comforting.
No, they hadn't spent a lot of money on the cartoon.
No.
No.
But it was. I always got the sense with him that he was probably really quite lonely.
But I like the fact is that,
And he had a cat,
Mummy
and the
was
cat
so
could talk.
pleased. But by the time I came out, they'd gone off and I missed the picnic. But Mummy was so pleased that I'd asked her. She gave me an apple.
No, I think
and
she
Charlie got something he liked. He gets a fish.
Yeah.
Right. I was thinking an apple.
No, I seem to remember it being that.
I'll get an apple anyway. Get me some sweets.
Yeah, or a tattoo.
I always thought it was a con when your parents got you some clothes you needed for Christmas.
Yeah,
I'm not falling for that.
Exactly.
I'd go, look, I'm getting the clothes anyway. I want battling tops.
But the Charlie Says, I seem to remember when they asked him to go off for the picnic. By the time he'd asked Mum because she was on the phone,
Yeah.
I don't know who she was chatting to in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
The kids had gone.
One of her,
and I seem to remember
one of her clients.
Exactly. I seem to remember that he said, "Don't worry, it was fine because Mum took him and Charlie on a picnic."
Not as good.
Who'd rather go with your mates,
Yeah.
or with your
Or
mum on
mum
a
and your
picnic
cat.
and your cat?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think they were friends.
Mum, this Scotch egg stinks of fish. Well, I had to bring it for Charlie. Don't bring raw fish in the picnic basket.
But I think they weren't friends with us. They were just local kids who go, let's go and ask that weirdo with the cat if he wants to come down the park.
Let's go and ask the weirdo who thinks the cat can
He can talk, yeah.
and then run away when he goes to
Exactly.
ask his mum.
When he goes off to ask his mum, they're just going,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
ask your mum, ask your mum.
Yeah. Hello, hiya. Alright, we're the local lads, the cool local lads. We smoke, we got tattoos. Do you want to come and play with some puppies in the disused mine? Ask your mum first. Quick, run.
Exactly.
Look, he's talking to the cat. Look, he's talking to the cat.
They were just round the corner spying on him. They were just laughing. There was no picnic.
Did you ever go on a picnic, Carl? Was there places to go in Manchester, or was it like Quarryland mostly?
The problem with those adverts, like when I was growing up, they'd sort of give you ideas, because remember the Charlie's one, right? And we were on holiday, right? And I met these two lads who are knocking about with like mates and that. And that advert came on, and we thought it'd be a good idea to wind his mum up, because this advert had just been on saying, you know, kids are going missing in Wales, right?
Yeah.
So we said, oh, this will be a good laugh. We put the kid in the wardrobe. His mum came back from shopping. We said, oh, he's gone missing. We haven't seen him for hours.
That's terrifying.
I know.
That's
How
an
old were you?
appalling
How
thing
old
to
were
do.
you?
About 13.
And what was his mum? She must have been. She
She was,
friends.
yeah, she was going mad, and that's when we thought, oh God, we've gone. Will we say anything? Will we pretend we don't know where he is?
Open the wardrobe,
Yeah.
he'd suffocated.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
horrible, Carl.
I know, but
Such a
it's just
cruel
what you
thing.
do, isn't it? It's just what you do.
Well, no, you do.
What do you mean? It's just
Well,
what you do. So what was it? Was he in the wardrobe? Was he listening to this? Why didn't he go, Mum, it's alright, when he heard her crying?
No, she wasn't crying. She was just panicking and like screaming a little bit and that.
Screaming a little bit.
Okay, we'll tell her when the screaming starts.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then what's the other thing? Like on the same, like you know, all this was going on when I was growing up, and one time we're on holiday, and my mum says, right, if you're going on the beach, it's a big beach, but you know, if you're going to go out and play there, I need to know where you are.
So
what part
where
of the
these
beach you're going
bells?
to.
where this cowbell around your neck.
She gave me a balloon.
Good
Give you a
idea.
balloon.
A balloon, and it just, you know, sort of attached to my arm, so wherever I was playing in the sea and that, you can see the balloon and that.
Brilliant.
But then the problem was, everyone else thought that's a good idea,
Cool.
and it was just like loads of kids with balloons and that,
Oh, I ruined it.
so that didn't work.
Yeah.
I had to bin that idea.
Weren't you in a car park once?
Oh no! It was New Year, and we were all gathering up. You know, like in Trafalgar Square at New Year, everyone gathers and they have a big kind of party and stuff. Well, in Bristol, they do something very similar on a smaller scale. And I was there one New Year, I was with my friends, and I for some reason I picked up a balloon during the evening. You know, I don't know where I got it from, but I was holding this balloon, and these girls came up to me, and I thought, yeah, nice, you know, maybe a little New Year kiss. They came up, they said, hey, are you going to be here for a while? And I said, well, yeah, I probably will. They said, it's just that we've arranged to meet back at you at midnight. What do you mean? Because I was so tall and had a balloon, I was towering above everyone else. I said, what? I said, we're going to meet back at you at midnight.
This is...
They said, don't worry, you can go about your business, because we can see you wherever you are.
This is where Nelson's column is.
No. No, this is in Bristol.
Oh, right, okay,
yeah. And so I'm sort of wandering around, and then at midnight these two girls turn up again, and some of these lads come and meet them, and they're sort of laughing and joking. I'm thinking, oh, they're probably going to invite me back to a party. I watched them get in a cab. They went off. They had a wild night. But then I did have a balloon, so it was a great new year for me.
I did have a balloon. Oh, should we have a little bit of two-pack?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah. There's a great lyric in this. It's picture me rolling, right? But at the end, he's saying about look at me now. I'm drinking Remy and I'm in a Rolls Royce. And he goes, oh yeah, I forgot the DA. Can she see me from here? Can you see me, ho? And I think this is like District Attorney turning on the radio and Tupac going around going, can that ho see me? She's going, yeah, I can see you.
Yeah,
it's brilliant. WC, featuring Snoop, The Streets on XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. I think we should kick off with a bit of a competition. I think we should get the listeners involved here. Phone up if you want to play XF Family Fortunes.
Now, a lot of people, of course, won't be familiar with this because we played this in the very early days of XFM.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain the rules, or do you just want people to phone in?
It's like Family Fortunes. We need two of you. I asked you...
Do you remember we discussed this before? You can't say that.
Yeah. And so get two on the line, you're competing against each other, and so it's fingers on the buzzers. Will you stop chewing, picking your teeth? I mean, even if the listeners can't, it really annoys me.
It is a bit like having a chimp in the room.
Do you know what I mean, Karl?
Right.
Have you ever seen him eat hot food?
No.
Honestly, it is like a chimp. He's going, oh, what are you doing? What? Just get... Oh, God.
Or like the Cookie Monster.
Yeah. Oh, God. I'm never annoying, Karl, so why are you? Do you know what I mean, Steve?
You're so annoying. Have you been with him for trying to have lunch with Ricky?
Yeah.
It's the hardest thing possible. Yeah. You wander around for hours. It's sort of a combination. It used to be bad even before he was a celebrity because he has a tolerance level. It's extraordinary. I mean, he is irritated by a car honking its horn in the street. It's like, I can't believe it, let's go in here, I'm so angry. He gets annoyed by police sirens, by rain, wind, birds in the air, other people in the streets.
They're the most annoying.
Children particularly, whether they're in a school playground we happen to be walking past, whether they're on TV.
It's just noise that isn't mine.
Well, I know, but this is the thing, you are the most irritating man I've ever met, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, you know that, Karl, don't you? I mean, noises he makes, it's extraordinary. I mean, I've been editing some behind-the-scenes footage we shot of, making the second series of The Office. It's extraordinary. I've had to cut sequences out involving Ricky because they'll just think he's a giver, just think he's an idiot, like some kind of puppet that the rest of us are controlling, because he's shouting, he's whistling, he's honking, he's making noises, he's dancing around. It's extraordinary. And if you're out trying to find somewhere to eat with him, all these irritants, all these annoyances, and it's, oh, that music's too loud, I don't like that particular song, I'm not going in there, there's more than 8 people in that cafe, I'm not going in there. It's just extraordinary. I think we need a woman. I'm thinking of hiring a woman, like a PA, to just go out ahead of us, scout ahead of us, go in, you know, and she can just phone back and say,
oh, sexist. Oh.
Or a guy.
Oh, that's
or a fella.
Oh, sexist.
Or a fella. Just to scout ahead.
Oh, I'm thinking of hiring a woman, subservient role. We couldn't hire him. Oh, no. Oh, sexist.
Well, that or a chance to meet a woman.
Yeah.
That I'm also paying.
It's like paying for it.
Exactly.
Slightly more above board.
Yeah.
So, if you want to play Family Fortunes, call up. What's the number?
08700 800 1234.
Yeah, it's just like Family Fortunes. Two of you are competing for some great prizes. And, I go, something you know how it goes, and then go Buzz and play it on board.
It's not as high-tech as Family Fortunes. Current single from Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, that's Bring It On.
Yeah. On XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington, and 2 people on the line to play XF Family Fortunes.
Brilliant.
Hello.
Steve first.
Steve, hello.
Hey, first, hello, how you doing?
You alright, mate? Where are you calling from?
From my pub in Barnes.
You got a pub?
Yeah.
In Barnes?
Yeah.
Are you posh?
No.
Oh. I suppose you're the local landlord. Do they come in and sort of like go, good man, there's a shilling, get me some ale? They're all posh in Barnes, aren't they?
Well, no, not all of them, actually.
Does Nigel Havers come in your pub? Because he lives there, doesn't he?
Well, none of them do, actually. I know there's lots of them about, aren't there, in Barnes, but no, not
You've banned them. You've banned them. Who's on the other line?
It's, Jennifer.
Jennifer, hello.
Hello.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Forest Hill.
Forest Hill, that's right south, and I don't go out of WT1.
Oh, you should.
Do you run a pub?
Do I own a pub? No.
Do you drink in one?
Yes.
That's just good.
just from friendly chat there.
Yeah, I think
That thing between the brain that you were talking about before.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember what it's called, but they did an experiment, and apparently the length of it determines whether you're straight or gay.
Is that right?
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Well, so what? You could actually trim it if you fancied.
It didn't go that far.
Oh. Well,
Always.
you've just interacted with Karl Pilkington.
Oh my God.
I treasure that. Right, here's the prizes.
Okay, now, listen, don't be disappointed, because, as ever, Carl has just gone through some people's drawers here at XFM and found some really quite shoddy prizes. So, you get, on DVD, I don't know if you're a fan of, are they a German band? Rammstein, or Rammstein?
Oh, you'll enjoy that.
But there's any number, that includes Asch zu Aschk, Spiel mit mir, and Hegelade. That's just some of the classics on this, DVD of their greatest videos. Red Dwarf, the first
Do you think
series.
Germans sit around looking at Oasis records and going, look at these Wonderwall?
Possibly so.
Wow.
The very best of the Stone Roses, although I might have that, so anyway, there's also an I Love You compilation, kind of appropriate, and, a tribute to the Ramones, which might be interesting.
So you can get the idea, Steve and Jennifer, the stakes are pretty high. Okay, here we go. Extra family fortunes. So, fingers on the buzzers, just both go, wah! If you think you can answer this right, and then we, the highest answer, or the top answer, gets the chance to play or pass. If you play, you've got to get all 5 answers. There are 5 answers. Every wrong answer, you get a life, and I go, and when you lose 3 lifelines, then the other person can steal. It's as simple as that.
If you've seen the show Family Fortunes...
No, this is not based on anything I've ever seen ever in my life. Okay, right. Okay, fingers on the buzzers. Okay. Name something. We asked 8 of my mates, right? Something you associate with Karl Pilkington.
Wah!
Okay, Jennifer, what?
Silliness.
Yeah, that's the top answer, thick or dimness.
Hang on.
Do you want to play or pass?
Play, please.
Okay. Stay tuned, Stephen, because you might be able to steal if she gets 3 wrong. Okay? Right, okay. Right, we've got a top answer, 4 to go. Thick or dimness is top answer, obviously. Okay, Jennifer, some other things associated with Karl.
Comedy.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah. No, I don't even know who he is.
You don't even know who he is?
No, she does. She must
And
do.
yet, bizarrely, she knows that silliness or
Yeah.
stupidity is the top
I know,
answer.
Yeah, come on. Something else.
The smelly eyebrows.
One more wrong answer, and then Stephen gets a chance to steal.
Okay. I don't know.
People are screaming it at home.
Very sensible.
Oh,
What was that? Very
sorry.
sensible.
Yeah. Okay, Stephen, can you think of one of the answers that Jennifer didn't get?
Must be a mind for a name nonsense.
Oh, well, I'm gonna give you that, because number 5 is even thicker. So, yeah, what you missed is, our top answer was thick or dim, second top answer was Manchester, third was Roundhead, 4th was airy Chinese kid, and 5 was, even thicker. So, I think Stephen's the winner there.
Yeah, I think he's done well.
Yeah.
You enjoy, Rammstein, and you get, the Stone Roses and an I Love You CD.
So that's the pilot for this show, okay? When Blockbuster's all over, we're gonna phase in XF Family Fortunes. Karl, thoughts?
It's not that good, is it?
Why?
It's not that good. Just... I'm not that happy with it.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just... What else? What? No.
You're definitely right about that top answer.
Well, thanks. Right, so Stephen wins all those prizes.
Yeah. Stay on the line and we'll take your address.
And we'll send something to Jennifer as well for even bothering to talk to Carl. So what's this, Carl? What are you playing now?
About the Drawn Boy.
Yeah, excellent. Bye.
When we're doing Rockbusters then.